Hello there, and welcome to 10 tips and tricks for space platforms in Factorio Space Age. So, I'm going to cover a couple of things that I really hope will help you out in all manner of different things. And without much fuss, let's get started with the first things I think many of you are interested in. So, number one, I want to talk about how to deliver stuff automatically from your platform to the ground and from the ground to the platform. So the mechanics behind that are pretty simple. So you can go to your rocket silo and let it automatically request stuff from space platforms. So once you have that activated, your space platforms can request things from the ground. All you need to do then is to head on over to your space platform and let it request something. So now if we'd had the items around here, so we could say request belts. Let's say we want to import them from Fulgora, and we always want 100 of these guys. So if you now had logistics connected to that via robots or via belts or anything, these red belts would now get loaded into, and once they are inside the rocket inventory, it will automatically get started as long as there's a rocket around. So that's the way how you can order things to be delivered up to space via just requesting them on the ship and then delivering them to the rocket. This little here is for the robots. So the other way around is relatively simple as well. You go over here to the cargo landing pad, and here you can request the item in question that you want. So we could now request 100 fast transport bills, or whatever number tickles your fancy. You can also ask for specific qualities, and I'm going to go over that in a second. But the thing is then, once a ferry or a spaceship comes around which has that stuff, it will automatically drop these then. So I'll show you what I did here on Nauvis, for example. So here I have requested all the science packs, which leads to if any of my spaceships is in orbit, which has these on board, they just toss them down there. And that's that. I also only requested 200 of the space science packs because I'm producing them on my station, and I don't want that all my stuff here is crowded with space science. Alright, so that's automatic delivery from the ground to the space and then the other way around. It just works like that. You can also have your spaceships travel from one place to another automatically. So first off, you need to be sure that you have pause thrust on, because if you are on automatic, it will immediately shoot away once you are configuring things, and this could be not what you want. So adding stations is simple as with trains. So you tell the ship to go to Nauvis and let's say to Fulgora. We want to say transport something. Let's say we transport science from Fulgora to Nauvis. It's a pretty common thing. So we go here for one of these conditions. One of the easiest conditions is item count of something. So on this scenario, we would be going for the electromagnetic science packs. Then we tell the game on we want the number larger than, let's say, 2000. And this is all. Once it is reaching 2000 space bottles here in space, it will soar over there. And you can do the same thing now as it stands here, like this. And once the number here equals 0, it'll fly back. So that's one thing. Just keep in mind you need to have the unload checkmark, and you should be golden. This automatics is all you need. Besides that, you require guns and fuel. Otherwise, your ships will be shot down on the way. Then you can activate automatic, and you should be golden. Now, that's automated travel and delivery. Number 3, I want to talk about asteroid collectors. So these little guys are your resource grabbers. What I did here is far from optimal. Sideways, they work often quite weird. Personally found that frontally oriented asteroid collectors are the most effective ones because their tentacles don't wriggle in weird ways around. Overall, it is worth mentioning that asteroids have a tendency to come from the front. So there's a couple of them, as you see, that are randomly drifting into your flanks like that. But it's really the lowest amount of these. So your asteroid collectors work best when they are oriented towards the direction where the majority of the asteroids is coming from, and obviously you can use them directly at the front if you have enough firepower behind it. It's personally what I've found so far one of the best ways to get a plentiful amount of asteroid chunks into your possession. So number 4, quick summary: you need guns for the inner system. So all your ferry ships on this area here will run with gun turrets ideally, and when you want to get out of the system here, you will start needing rockets or other crazy things. I've seen people still using stuff like lasers, but the game originally intends you to research carbon fiber first and then go for the rocket turrets, and these bad boys are what gives you the ability to destroy the stuff that haunts you on your way to Aquilo. I mean, it's literally a requirement there, but I mentioned this here in this video because that means your planetary ferries, they really only need iron and some guns and enough fuel production to be automated. That's that. You will require really not much, only 2 thrusters, maybe 2 or 4 fuel producers. Fuel is the only limiting thing here. If your tanks stay full, you can breeze eternally back and forth. Number 5. Something about constructing space platforms is very interesting. So far, until it is going to be changed, I don't know how long it will stay like that, this weight measurement of your platform doesn't tell you much. When it comes down on how fast your platform flies, it seems currently as if the width is the determining factor. So the wider your ship, the more thrust you need to let it go. Which also means a slim ship needs not much thrusters, not much fuel, and gets job done quite quickly. So the best designs that I've seen currently on the subreddits and where I'm skulking around is those really slim ships that have only a couple of guns left and right, only do bit of fuel production, get those roids for the minimal thing, and keep that thing as slim as possible. This way you can get through with just 1 thruster. I don't know if this is Wooby's intended interaction, so I am a little bit skeptical that things will stay like that. I find it highly irrational that the weight of the platform doesn't really influence that, so I don't know how long things will stay like that. So let me know in the comments once this is not a thing anymore, because I hope it will not stay a thing forever. Number 6, builds can buffer items for you at the main building too. So in space, you can't use chests. That's one of the problems that you are dealing with, but you can store things, as you see here, on builds. I do that here on this area. I could here also add in another splitter and build it in like that to double the buffering amount. You can use these belts for this purpose. It's a pretty nifty thing because at the end of the day, buffering is, especially for the high stress times while traveling, a pretty cool strategy. Another buffering strategy that I use here to not make my platform go full with ammo is wiring your inserters with green wire to your main platform and tell them here, I have them only enabled if the amount of ammo is lower than 1000. You can, of course, define whatever number you want to and whatever thing you want to here. For example, I went for 50 iron ore because I don't want more than that buffered in here. But technically, you can configure your inserters however you want to and store as little or as many as you desire. Cargo base can increase the cargo capacity and should be on your ship when you want to have space ferry going. So number 7, I want to talk a little bit about where I think quality is really, really amazing. And the top-notch candidate here for quality is the Asteroid Collector, in my opinion. It increases the collection area, but it also increases the collection arm count, which means this thing just becomes doubly as efficient, basically, with its quality levels. It's one of those cases where quality really matters a lot, but the other quality cases that I love here is solar panels, because, you know, your power is just, at the beginning, very dependent on that. Later on, you can go for other methods. And in that regard, also, I love quality thrusters. They might be consuming more fuel, but they also can produce more thrust, which means you can get away with less thrust space on your design and more propulsion. I like that too, but it's not that much of a big deal. Turrets with their increased range also have their qualities. I really do appreciate that as well. And last but not least, obviously, every workshop that can have its crafting speed increased by quality is very desirable. Overall, quality is an insanely desirable stat on your space platforms because, yeah, at the end of the day, we want to have as much stuff going on here with as little room used, and therefore quality is just ideal for this form of vertical stacking. Number 8. Gleba is the planet that unlocks really your space factory options. It might look a little bit weird at first, but it is mostly this one specific technology which gets the game just into a completely different direction as soon as I find it. Here, advanced asteroid processing. This breaks the game into a different direction completely. So Gleba is really what you need for bigger ships. You will begin to unlock completely new materials on your spaceship to be available and a much more efficient way to create fuel. So all in all, this is an interesting caveat about Gleba, and I wanted to mention that because it is a bit of a annoying planet, but when it comes down to spacefaring things, you get the rocket turrets there, you get the asteroid processing there, heck, you get even the Spidertrons from here, which allow you much better interplanetary logistics because you can remotely control those spider Z's. Whatever. Just wanted to point out that the most game breaking way of creating Space Factory comes from Gleba. At the end of the day, as you see there, you need to have unlocked all the space packages, but you need the green ones to unlock it, so bring a plenty of the green ones. Number 9, Nauvis stays your best shipyard. Nauvis is interesting insofar as it is the only planet that doesn't have major huge rocks around it. Basically, you can, of course, go for Fulgora and go for quality crafting there, but Novice's quality is pretty simple. You have boatloads of oil there, it is the most balanced planet, it has a safe environment, so it is really a good bet to plan your Novice factory in a way that you do your shipyard there. So, it's pretty helpful if you design a shipyard mall for that, where you produce a lot of space platform, thrusters, whatever. You can still import quality goods from other places, but the bulk of the building, of the platform building, is best done in Nauvis because these asteroids here are just really, really annoying, and you would be insanely time pressured setting up your base platform and getting it defended from the evil roids. I don't know. Nauvis has much better qualities for being a shipyard, especially since all the materials that you require for rocket building, spaceship building are so nicely balanced on this planet. The other 3 planets are all good in some way. They all lack, though, a distinct quality, in my opinion. And at the end of the day, even if you have a mega base on all of these 3 planets, the asteroids can be pretty annoying. Number 10, last but not least, I want to point out that early game, your spaceship building is pretty limited. I have pointed out already the unlocks on Gleba, but this leads to a fact that you shouldn't overthink and overplan your space factories before you have unlocked the complete asteroid reprocessing technology. Because I personally felt like when I saw what I was missing there, I realized that I was literally only using a tiny friction of the options that I could have on a space platform. Therefore, keep your inner planetary space platforms on a system that uses guns, solar power, and some fuel production to get things from A to B. That's perfect. You can automate them like I have shown you there before. And yeah, it should really work on out like that. But once you have uncovered these other technologies, you can go for the real spaceships. And I personally wouldn't recommend to do that before you have uncovered the advanced asteroid reprocessing because, yeah, it would be just much harder to achieve the same thing. So that's the end of my list. I hope that helped you out. I think there's many more things that could be explained and could be worth telling. So let me know in the comment section what you think should be added. And sure, leave a thumbs up, consider subscribing, the usual shtick. Thanks for watching. Feel free to support Icon Gaming if you feel like doing so. I would be very, very grateful. Links are in the description box below, alongside with a playlist link if you want more Factorio videos from my side. And of course, many thanks to all of the supporters, and a lot of thanks for watching this video until the very end. Appreciate having you, and see you guys next time.